Well, all right. Welcome to White Noise. I am your host, Gerald White. And you know what they say, you got to love it. Today, we're going to be joined by AJ Johnson of the AJ Johnson Show on the Bleacher Brothers Network. He is the founder, producer, and host of the Bleacher Brothers Show. Welcome, AJ.
How are
Man,
you, sir? Good morning.
good morning. Good morning. The man with many hats. How are things going?
It's good. I got no hat on today, though. It's going good. I got hats somewhere around here. I don't know.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah. It
So, what's the
depends.
latest and greatest with this journey called life?
Man, we're here. We woke up this morning. We got some sleep last night. We're ready. We're ready for another day. Ready for another day. Sometimes you got to recharge because it never stops. But I'm
Never stop.
recharged, then I'm locked, and I'm loaded, and it's a little dark in here. I see the. I thought I opened the windows. What else do you want? I got to do this outside. Uh, Apologize.
I'm,
But
I'm
it
glad it's on your end and not my end. That'd
yeah,
be a
no,
problem.
it's a little dark. It hides the blemishes though, so I'm all right.
We'll dig
Uh,
that. Well, how's the show going?
it's going good, man. We're making some insane traction, but not just the Bleacher Brothers show. All the shows on the network are starting to pick up. Um, we are, on this format now. We've been doing this, let's say, a month.
Hmm.
And views are through the roof. People are tuning in on the digital radio side, or the from Alexa or the app itself, or through our website or the 1029 or Broad Street South. It's the shows, all of them broadcast out to so many different locations now, um, that it's hard to track sometimes. But we as an organization, and this is just the Bleacher Brother media itself, we had 1 million impressions last week
How about that?
between Facebook and Instagram and the website and the radio views or streaming views and radio listens. So that's pretty cool. We're excited about that.
What do you owe the success to?
Hard work,
What?
bro. I work my ass off. That's what it is. I'm up. What we did, I don't want to give all of our secrets away, but I'll tell you the key to really getting things going on streaming and on social media:
Mhm.
video, 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 video. Like, so we just spent a fortune on our website,
Mhm.
which if you haven't seen it, you should go eyeball it. It's really good. If this was 1976, it would be the greatest website in the world. What I mean by that is it's all written content. There's so much written content. There's articles on every sport, everything. We got odds and recaps and box scores and previews. I mean, it's all there. But we're in the age of video. People want it. They want it now. They want it quick. They want these short little things. And what we've been doing is we've been taking a lot of game clips, funny videos, reels that we're finding online, stuff that's
Mhm.
sports related. Some of it's not. If it's like, I found one 2 days ago. A lot of my guys like to golf. I know you're a big golfer.
Love
Uh,
to golf.
I,
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
consider
have to.
myself a golfer, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to take it up now because you all do it, and I can't look like the schlub out of the crew. So, um, but I found one of some guy putting on the green, and this gigantic swan behind him just standing there. And then after the putt, the swan attacks the guy and chases him all over. It was hysterical. I said, I got to get this and put it up. And it did it. It takes off, and it's amazing. So the credit, the hard work, because we got to find these things, but then just putting them up on What is YouTube called? Stories. No, YouTube is called Shorts. Instagram has got the Reels. Facebook's got Reels, and put them in all these places. And the strangest thing, Gerald, is I could take video A and put it on TikTok, and it'll do great. I put it on YouTube, nobody watches it. I take video
Hmm.
B, put it on YouTube, everybody goes nuts over it. Nobody pays attention to it on TikTok. So we're still trying to figure that out. There's got to be a way to
Gotcha.
streamline it so that we can just put one video up and have 4 billion people see it. But it's hard work. That's what it's not just me. It's everybody is working their tails off right now.
So is this your day job? Is your night job? Or, is
Yeah.
this full time for you now?
It's beyond full time. I talked to a buddy yesterday, and he got me early. And yesterday was not a good day for me. I didn't get much sleep the night before. He got me early, and he was immediately in a mood where I guess he just needed to bitch and moan and complain to someone. And I wasn't having that at 9 o'clock yesterday. And I'm like, dude, what's up? And he goes, what do you do? I said, I'm busy. He goes, I thought you sold your company. I said, I did. He goes, why are you busy? I said, because I have another company and I have to work 5 times harder at this one because we're just building it now.
Right.
And that's a lot of people don't get it. They just think that you know what, I'm going to open up a lemonade stand and I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, they don't really think about you got to grow the lemons or go buy the lemons and squeeze the lemons and get the cups and get the sugar and stand out in the sun and flag cars down, and people see the end result.
And so not the process, right?
Yeah, I think it was Ali maybe said something. He says, look, you see me winning titles, but you don't see me at 4 o'clock in the morning running through 2 feet of snow for 6 miles every single day.
So prior to radio,
Mm-hmm.
what were you doing?
Oh, I've never done this before at all. How prior do you want? Immediately prior, I had a water treatment company.
Okay.
Water treatment company. It's only 4 years old. COVID caused me to get in the water treatment business. When we go to break, I'll adjust this so people can see me and put some light on here. But I had a business before that, and it was massive, but it was traveling. I had teams, I had a couple hundred people that worked with us, and we traveled all over the country doing home shows and trade shows, and that's how we would market products. So
Gotcha.
COVID just like shut it down overnight. It was like, crap, we're out of business. What are we going to do? So I sent myself to school during COVID for digital marketing and SEO and things like that. And I had water filters in my inventory of stuff that I sold, but I didn't really know a lot about. I knew whatever the doofuses that were selling them to me told me. Like, oh,
Right.
this thing is a great. And I was like, all right, let me start selling these. And we worked our tails off for 4 years, and we built it up to the point where a year and a half ago, I was getting Culligan. The names escape me now, but some of the big sort of national brands were contacting us saying, "Hey, well, we'll give you $1 million. We'll give you $1.5 million. We want your company." And I wasn't really I wasn't in the market to sell it,
Right.
but this Bleacher Brothers just sort of kind of sprung up and started to happen. And I got some good guys that worked with me on water. One of those guys approached me and said, what would it look like for me to buy this? So we got together and worked out a deal that was great for him, good for me. It's going to be hard for him in the beginning because, he didn't just rip me off a check for, $12 and say, here it is. I got to pay you the $12 over time. And then I had to make sure that I prepped him on everything we just said, like with Ali, with running. I said, you're not going to make any money for the first couple of years doing this. You're going to have to work harder than you work now, and you're not going to make any money because you got to pay me off. And I think he got it. And I think that he's going to grow it way, way, way bigger than I ever could because he's young and he's motivated and he's got ideas that
Hmm.
I don't. But I made sure that I prepped him. I said, you don't just like say you own a company and go buy a house on the ocean. It's not like that.
Right.
You got to work
Right.
years. And so we were just associated before this with something called TBSN. I call it the Totally Broken or the Totally Busted Sports Network. I mean, it was ridiculous, but a guy lent his name, so he put his name on it, didn't lay one penny out of his pocket, put his name on it, and then the whole thing was just a shit show from the beginning. The initial person that put a little bit of money up to get it going just kind of said, "Okay, I'll put the money up, and 4 million people are going to tune into this thing because you used to be something 20 years ago," and no one had any business experience. The guy knew how to get on the microphone and talk, and he was dynamite with it, but they don't know how to build a business, and the thing crashed and burned real fast. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm confident that that's not going to happen with the water company.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So, but I prepped him. I'm that guy. Sometimes people look at me like we're sitting in a meeting, we're having brainstorming ideas, and you come up with how about ketchup and mustard in the same container? Man, it sounds like a good idea. But I'm the guy, my head immediately goes to, okay, what can go wrong with this? And
Hmm.
you give me an idea, and I'm just going to punch holes in it, punch holes in it, punch holes in it. Not because I'm negative, it's because I want it to, it's the way my brain works. I want it to succeed.
Have
So
you always been that way?
for a long time, a couple decades at least, I want to think about, early on in life, I was a clown. I'm not saying that I'm not a clown now, but I was not a serious person when it came. You didn't want to be in business with me. You didn't want to be friendly with me. None of that. A lot of things went wrong, and my excuse used to be, well, circumstances.
Hmm.
That's BS. Now, I met my wife. Things changed. My wife really got me on track. But I try to look at a scenario of, hey, let's do this, and I'm going to punch all the holes in it now so that we know in advance, because I hate to be blindsided. I don't like to say, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
Right.
Um, like last night, there were a couple basketball games, Indiana and Milwaukee. There's no way Indiana should have lost that game. Nobody saw it coming.
Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, but that's a basketball game, and the NBA is fixed, so that's what the NBA had in their script, and that is what it
Tell
is.
me how you really feel, AJ.
Yeah, but life is scripted, but you write the script to your own life, and there are no circumstances. Good things happen and bad shit happens to everyone. It's just how you deal with it and how prepared are you to deal with it when it happens. So me punching holes is not me being negative. It's me saying, hey, I really like this idea, but let's look at everything that can possibly go wrong and then address it before it goes wrong so that we don't have to deal with it later.
When did you start writing your script? So when you decided this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be in life, and I'm going to lay down this foundation and build towards that.
I think the same as everybody else. Like the minute that you can pick up a crayon and color a duck, I think everybody starts their script in their head at that point. Um, I just think that for a lot of people, they let outside influences come in. Other people want to say, "Oh no, no, that's a bad script. You need to do this or you need to do that." And they get sidetracked off of their dreams. Everybody has good ideas, G. Everyone does.
Hmm.
It's just that they let outside influences, outside negativity, people tell them that they can't do something, and that's why they don't get things done. I like it. I mean, tell me that I can't do something, and that's what's going to make me do it. The worst thing is when somebody tells me, "Oh yeah, you want to take up golfing? Yeah, sure. You'll be a great golfer." Don't tell me that. I'm gonna lose interest immediately. I don't want anything that's gonna be easy. It's just not me.
You like the
So
challenge.
I do, and I think for like the script of my life, it's constantly getting rewritten all the time.
Hmm. I think that's a part of life. It's kind of like golf. There's no shot that's ever the same. Every day is going to be different. There's going to be a different set of circumstances. You will never live the same day in your life. There will always be nuances, no matter what it is. And so it's how we adapt to those situations and circumstances and the decisions that we make that determine our outcome.
Yeah, the same is boring, isn't it? I mean, you do the same thing every single day. It's boring to me.
So
I
where do you go from here? Where are you going to take Bleacher Brothers Network?
I'm hoping that this is not the final chapter in my story because I still got a good 40 years left to go. But I'm hoping that this is one because I'm passionate about it. I like the fact that we're giving young people, get kids in school, kids right out of school, the opportunity to go out and whether it's pad their resume or be part of something in the very beginning that's
Hmm.
gonna really take off. But I think between my just do not never give up, don't stop, keep moving forward mentality, and then the kids, how savvy they are with everything as far as today's world, video technology. I think we got a good combination to really. Yeah, I don't want to say like a name of any organization, but I think we could be a real player in the sports media market here on a national level within a short period of time.
What do you think the difference is between you and that particular no-name network? What will be the difference? What will you offer that's different?
Well, you know what? It's still again we're rewriting constantly. I mean, we just spent a bundle for perception. And what I mean by that is, for the first year, and this all happened by mistake, this Bleacher Brothers thing. It was just, I was doing a podcast. And I'm like, I need a name for it. So I came up with Bleacher Brothers, which it's a long story. Bleacher Brothers was something about 15 years ago. So I took the name and I said, all right, I'll be naming my podcast. But one of my major flaw, I can't do anything small. I'm either in or I'm out.
Gotcha. There's no in between.
There's no in between. So if I'm like I've been dieting this year. I've been trying to cut weight for the past couple of years. And I've cut a lot, but I couldn't cut the last 20. And I know that sounds sick. Like the last 20. Like I got first 40 was no problem, but the last 20 I could get rid of. But I'm older and my body is not the same as it was when I was 20. So I came up with a harebrained scheme. Look, this is how I'm going to lose this last 20. And I went from basically New Year's until a few days ago where I really didn't eat.
Mm.
I got out of the gym, didn't work out. I don't recommend this to anyone because I felt like garbage all day, every day. No energy, totally dehydrated, constantly getting sick. But I got the weight off. I also lost all my muscle, but I know that muscle is called muscle memory, that it's there. It doesn't really leave. It just kind of hides in the background, goes to sleep. So I know that the muscle will pop back. So the point that I was trying to make, though, is all in or all out. There were times I was hungry. There were times where it was somebody's birthday and there was a cake and I could have killed that whole cake. There were times where my wife and my kid, they order pizza and I'm like, oh my God, do I want that pizza right now? But I just can't do it. But I'm old. So I forget. I actually have a medical thing going on with my head. Maybe it's early dementia. I don't know exactly, but if you get me to say I'll do something, you can take it to the bank. But you got to get me to put it on the list. Because if it's not,
That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. Put it on the list.
I'll forget. But this is also the list, and I've been carrying these little pads around with me for 20 years. The list, every day I wake up with goals. These are goals. They're to-dos, whatever you want to call them, on my list. If it's not on my list, it won't get done. But if it's on the list, the first thing I do is I look at this and I say, oh my God, look at all this crap I got to do today. I got to start crossing this stuff off. And for me, silly, everybody has their own process. Every time I'm crossing something else, it gives me a sense of, all right, I'm getting stuff done here.
It's accomplishment.
Yeah.
Conference room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, AJ, we're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to The White Noise on 1029 The Game. I'm your host, Gerald White. We'll be right back.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so,
Interesting?
yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/one small step, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm not hearing you, buddy. Your microphone is off.
How's that?
There you go.
We're back. You're back to White Noise, powered by Bleacher Brothers Sports Network and Riptide Media. We're with AJ, the producer and host of Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, the AJ Johnson Show.
No, it's the Bleacher Brothers show. It's not the AJ Johnson show.
You're not doing the AJ Johnson Show anymore, just strictly the Bleacher Brothers Show?
It was never the AJ Johnson show. It's one of my handles on Twitter is the AJ Johnson show, but no, it's a team. This is a complete team effort. So there's no AJ Johnson show. There's
no I in team. It's the team.
Exactly. Yeah. There was I couldn't do this without guys like Stephen Luker and Chef Tom and Joe Q.
I love Chef.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
So tell me about this to-do list. Where did this start? When did this start for you?
I want to tell you somewhere around 05, 06. I got into sales in the 90s and realized that I had some ability and I could make a bunch of money. But I was such a dysfunctional human being that as much money as I made, I would spend twice as much. Make $1,000. I'd spend the weekend at the track and in the bar, and I'd have no money. So I was never able to save or really make anything out of myself. I met my wife. We got married, and she was very impressive to me at that time because I was 30. She was a little bit younger. She owned her own house. I'm like, what? Oh my goodness, how do you own your own house? I'll never own my own house. And, she worked 3 jobs and she just kind of said, look, you can really do this on a big, so she made me a little bit more serious, but I was one-man band. And then a hurricane caused me to expand my business when I didn't mean to. It was an accident. And then it just started to expand and expand and expand. So then I had a lot of stuff to do. So I'm like, wow, all right, let me make a list daily. I think I was reading a Zig Ziglar book, and Ziglar or Maxwell, they said that people get more things done on the day they go on vacation or the day before they go on vacation than they do at any other time. Because you want to get everything done before you go on vacation.
Right.
So that you don't have anything to worry about. And they, make a list, and that list just turned into a daily sort of thing. And I realized, wow, all right, I'm getting more done. And it's giving me that sense of accomplishment where, there are some days right now where I think everybody just needs a break sometimes, mentally and physically. So there are some days where I just wake up and I look and I'm like, no, you know what? You're staying right there on the table today. I'm not dealing with you. And I get nothing done. But I need that to kind of recharge. But I'm lost on those days. It's kind of like,
it's really important to be able to take a break. It's, God made the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. So, it's kind of a built-in thing that we need to rest at some point in time to recharge our batteries.
yeah.
We have season, out of season. We have hibernation and regrowth, reblooming, that whole thing. So
the argument that I can give you on that is we are not as talented as God. So we need more than 6 days. So I got to keep going. You know what I mean? I do. I got to keep going.
Well, I think you're doing a wonderful job. I've known you for a short period of time, but in that short period of time, I really appreciate what you do and how you do what you're doing. So what's your motivation now? Like, what's inspiring you to do this? And
my kid, I mean, I'm sure just like you got 3 motivations. I only have one, is my kid, to make sure that my kid is, taken care of. I don't want to leave her, a fortune or anything like that, but I want to make sure that I can take her up to the point where she can tackle adulthood on her own, or without us supporting her anymore, and never have to tell her no, not in a spoiled sort of, oh, you want this toy or you want a new computer sort of way, but just to make sure that we have the finances to give her every opportunity that she can possibly need. Did that make sense, or did that just sound completely idiotic?
I totally understand. I totally get it. How do you communicate that with her, though?
I tell her no all the time when we're checking out of the store, and she's like, "Daddy, can I have the gum? Daddy, can I have this? Daddy, can I have that? Daddy, can I have this?" And it's like, no. But we were blessed because we had a really, really sharp kid. She's funny. She's extremely intelligent. We have no idea where this came from. My wife claims it's her, but it's neither one of us. They might have mixed the babies up at the hospital. I have no idea. But she understands that, because I'm not around a lot, and it sucks. It does. And it sucks for me too. But she understands that, I'm out here busting my tail for us. So the motivation is her, but the motivation is also, it's also these guys like Robbie LaStella, CP, Toby, these guys right out of school that, they're excited. They finish school, and some of them think they know everything and they're ready to tackle the world. But, adulthood is the real world is a whole nother thing. It's not like what you see in a Matthew McConaughey movie. So, having the opportunity to help these guys get to the next level and to gain some experience, that's a motivation too.
What does success look like, for you in this endeavor?
See, that's my issue, dude. I'm never, ever satisfied. So anytime I reach, I guess, a level of success that other people would say, hey, this is a success, I just don't see it that way. It's a downfall. It's probably I need to see a shrink or something about that, but I need to go further and further and bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that naturally I'm a lazy individual. If you ask me, what would you do? AJ, here's $1 billion. What would you do? I would do nothing. I would vanish. You'd never see me again, hear from me. I'd have a cabin in the woods. I'd be on the beach. I'd be, but no one would have my number. No one would know how to get a hold. I would do nothing at all day. I would be 5,000 pounds. Really, so that's what I think. But my wife says, you can't do that. You can't still sit still for 2 minutes. You're going to be going and going and going and going. So what is success like? I don't know. I won't tell you happiness, but am I always happy having to get up and go all day, every day? Absolutely not.
So I believe that there are successes in life, right? So I don't. I've had failures.
We all
Failures
have.
in business, fails in relationships. Just failures across the board. But I'm not a failure,
Mhm.
right? I've had successes in life. I've had successes at every level, some smaller than others, but true successes. I don't really consider myself a successful person, just generally speaking, but I know of the successes that, no, I consider myself a successful person despite my level of success at different areas in my life, um, coupled with those failures. So I know you've had successes. You've sold companies, you've built companies, so you've had successes in your life. But what does this success look like for you with Bleacher Brothers, with this network?
Mm.
When will you consider it a success? Is it a success now?
Yeah, right now it's a success because it was an accident. Bleacher Brothers was something that started 2007, 2008, accidentally. My brother and I bought season tickets to a old Yankee Stadium, final season. He lived up there. I lived down here. He's like, let's get tickets. We'll go to games. I was like, yeah, all right. My wife liked going to New York and going shopping. And I said, yeah, she can go shopping. So we got season tickets. He went to one game. I went to one game. But we sold the rest of these tickets and made a bundle because everyone wanted to go to the old Yankee Stadium before they closed it. So we thought, again, we couldn't just take our money and go away. I thought, whoa, we can make a fortune in tickets. So we formed Bleacher Brothers, which went from just getting Yankee tickets. We had tickets to everything. You want a Cowboys opening year of that new stadium? We had it. Opening Yankee Stadium. Phillies, we reached the Chicago Cubs. We said, we want to get season tickets. They said, okay, your number is 63,000 on the waiting list. Somehow we ended up getting the tickets. You wanted to go see Disney on Ice? I had your tickets. You want to go see AC/DC? I had your ticket. We had them and so it turned into tickets to let's build and we had a bunch of young people that were really into, we were making videos. We were doing podcasts before podcasting was a thing. We were making reels before. We were way ahead of our time in that aspect. And we were excited. So we were trying to build a sports version of and combine StubHub, Facebook. This is the very beginning when Facebook first came out, ESPN. And we had some real excitement because you need excitement to build something. You need passion and enthusiasm.
Right.
And we had a bunch of money. What we didn't have were smarts. We knew nothing about this industry, nothing about technology, about web development, about what it would take. So we just kept dumping money. And then one day we went to get some money to dump and there was no money left. And we're like, whoa, this sucks. So it was done and it was a really bad ending because we went through like a lot of just insane, like people would jump off a building if they went through this much money. But you had said something a minute ago that, success, failure, every failure is just temporary and every success is just temporary too.
Right.
So you have to you can be successful today and fail tomorrow. And anyone that thinks, again, because I don't like the way most people are wired, maybe it's what's taught in school, maybe it's the way that their parents bring them up, but you have to fail to succeed. The best baseball players, they fail 7 out of every 10 times. Those are the best guys.
Those are the best, exactly.
Yeah. Look, I got the thing hanging on the wall there, but it's a quote by Michael Scott from Wayne Gretzky. It says, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." So you gotta take them. You gotta take them and realize that you're not gonna hit a home run every time, but you just gotta keep moving forward. So is it successful right now? Yeah, it is, because it was nothing. And I have this thing also where we did it with the water company. We didn't advertise. We didn't go knocking on doors. We didn't do presentations. So let's just build it differently. Let's do SEO. Let's let people find it on Google. And then let's do such a good job that people just tell people. And we never looked for one customer with the water company. And it was the same thing with Bleacher Brothers. I didn't look for anyone. I said, I'm just going to start doing this, and the right people will find me. And look, I mean, I got introduced to you through this from somebody else. All these FAU. I mean, I'm getting ready to. After this, I got to run down to FAU for a like something that could be extremely substantial for them and Bleacher Brothers. We already have something going with. You're wearing the hat with Michigan, which I don't know how substantial it is for Michigan. They seem to say, "Oh, this is a really big deal for us." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But it could be a big deal for our organization.
Yes.
And
we're happy to have a FAU basketball coach now at Michigan. Yes.
Yeah, but he's old news. So Robbie had FAU's new basketball coach on his show last week. He filled in for me on Thursday night. It was my kid's birthday, so I took the night off. Robbie sat in, did the show, had Coach Jacobs on. Mm-hmm. They had so many people watching live. I mean, I turned it on. I'm like, dude, they may not want me back. I may get fired, man. And they may, but it was a phenomenal interview that they did. And this coach, he's something else. I learned a lot about him watching this thing. Mm-hmm. He's not, I had never heard of him before, but he's a big deal. He's come from Gonzaga. He's been at Gonzaga forever as as one of the assistant coaches. And he's already gone out and gotten these ESPN top 100 players, like multiples. So I don't know, maybe he's going to make people forget about Dusty May real quick down here in Florida.
So sport for you, you've always been interested in sport. Do you have anything else? Music, art, any cultural stuff that you like, that you enjoy, that you love?
What do I love? I love some sports I've been into. Other sports I'm learning about now as I go, like college. I think you know this. I never watched a college football game in my life until I was working the sidelines at FAU last year. It was the very first college game I ever, and then basketball and now baseball. But I'm a big animal sort of guy. I know I got involved when we got our first dog, me and my wife. I ended up working at a local rescue, doing some volunteer work, and then ended up being on the board of directors with them. And it was, it turned into, all right, let's go walk some dogs, to me being there 3 hours a day. Having
all in or not at all, right?
Yeah, I had my own little collection of dogs there where they would tell me, like, this dog right here, he don't like anybody. He's not good with other dogs. He'll never get it. And I said, all right, I got him. And I would go every day work with and I would get dog after dog after dog adopted out like that, and make sure they get the right families, get them with other dogs. So I'm pretty passionate I'm extremely passionate when it comes to animals. I'm a little bit warped when it comes to people. Yes, I do like taking a kid, helping them. I like helping people that want to help themselves. Dogs, they just want to help everybody. They're just happy, goofy. I wish I could be a dog. I mean, that would be success. If I could be a dog, that would be success.
That would be a success. I think you're a dog in this industry.
Yeah, I guess that's wrong kind of dog though. But yeah, animals, and to the extreme where I'm not going to go political at all, but Noam, did you hear about Christy Noam's book that she's got coming out?
No.
Yeah, so she wrote, I guess it's a book about her life, and she talked about how she blew her dog away one day because she felt like the dog was a useless puppy that couldn't be trained. And I'm like, bitch, you will never get my effing vote. Never. I don't care if you are running against Satan himself. So animals, I got a really big thing about animals, and I got a lot of dislike for Noam right now, but we'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So
we're going to pause for the cause. See what I did right there?
That was good, bro. You're a professional at this, man.
We'll be right back with more of AJ Johnson on the White Noise Show.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to White Noise. I'm your host, Gerald White, and we're here today with AJ Johnson of the Bleacher Brothers Network.
Dude, your theme song is killer, bro. I like this.
Golden Child, producer DJ Golden Child. That's a track that he made for me. So shout out to Golden Child.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Eddie Murphy movie. I'm like, what? That's the worst movie ever made. Even Eddie doesn't want to watch that movie.
What's your favorite movie? What's your all-time favorite movie?
All right, this is hard. I can give you a top 2 or 3.
Okay, I can do that.
Beverly Hills Cop. The first Beverly Hills Cop was the funniest thing I had ever seen. I just thought it's the funniest movie ever. Lethal Weapon 2. Another really, really, really. I love now. So they're Beverly Hills Cop, like 5 or whatever the hell it is getting ready to come out on Netflix next month. I'm so curious, but I'm so sure that they should have just left it alone because
done with it.
Yeah, 2 was okay. 3 was really bad. 20 years goes by and you're gonna have old Axel Foley out there, and I read that it's an action adventure movie, but no. Beverly Hills Cop was a comedy. That's how I think of the first Beverly Hills Cop, as a comedy. Right. But now the Lethal Weapon movies, I love movies like that. Lethal Weapon, Jason Bourne, even the Tom Cruise is a weirdo, but I love the Mission Impossibles and all those movies right there. So that's Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon 2. They'd be my top two.
Gotcha. And you're a comedian, since you're, that kind of guy. Your top three comedians. Where you at?
Top three comedians. Man. I don't find anyone particularly funny right now. I like Chappelle.
Okay.
I find him funny, but I find him more clever than funny. So he's very entertaining to me. And I didn't think I would like Chappelle, but then I finally broke down and watched the Chappelle. Because to me, he looked like rock.
Clever. Clever is a good word.
He is. He's clever, kind of like George Carlin was clever also. George Carlin, way back, I don't think he was really funny, but he was extremely clever. So Chappelle right now, I mean, I was on a kick for a while where I thought that George Lopez was really funny. Carlos Mencia I thought was really funny. I don't know what happened to him, if he's even still around, Carlos Mencia. But with a lot of these guys, like Eddie was very, very, very funny back in the early 80s, mid 80s, delirious comedian. But then they make the money. And they just, I don't know, if they run out of material, they just get full themselves and they're not funny anymore. So I don't know. Chappelle, right now, Chappelle is really the only guy I would go out of my way to go see.
And when you're listening to music, what are you listening to?
Oh, man. My playlist has got everything on it from Miley Cyrus to Billy Ray Cyrus to AC/DC to Metallica to Taylor Swift and kind of everything in between. I guess it just depends on my mood. But sometimes I'll go in the gym. I'm one of those guys, I can't be in the gym without my music. If I don't have music, if I pull into I'll just go home. I'm like, oh, I forgot my earpods. All right, I'm out.
That's serious.
Yeah, it is. But sometimes, I mean, I will just sit there and like our song that we play on our show, this one. Which has kind of become our theme song. And then we ditched it for a little while. And people said, what happened to the song? You got to bring the song back. Sometimes I'll get in the gym and I'll put this on. And I'll just put it on a loop for 35 minutes. I know, I'm psychotic. Other times, I'll be listening to Barry Manilow 1 minute and then Metallica the next. So I don't know. I got a wide range of country, pop, rap, whatever. But here's a predicament I got. Maybe you could help me.
Okay.
And especially because we used to sell those tickets and we had tickets to everything. So to me, all-time best group ever, AC/DC. All-time best. And I always say, I'm going to go see AC/DC in concert. We had tickets so many times to AC/DC. We sold them. We threw them away. We didn't sell them. We gave them away, whatever. Never went. So 7 years ago, we had let's just call it a scare with my wife's health, like a major scare. And we came back after being away for almost a year dealing with it. And I looked and AC/DC was down here in concert. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go find them. I'm going to go see AC/DC. I'm going to treat myself. So I went to buy the tickets and I looked online and it said AC/DC with Axl Rose. I'm like, Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses is opening up for AC/DC? And then I did a little research, and Brian Johnson, the lead singer of AC/DC, had gone deaf. He couldn't sing anymore, so they brought Axl Rose in as the lead singer, and I'm like, nope, not AC/DC. I'm not doing it. Now, AC/DC announced that they're on tour this year. It starts in a couple of weeks, but they've only announced a European tour. So immediately I said, yep, I'm going to Germany. I'm going to Ireland. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to go see AC/DC. Told and I'm sneaky about it. I went home. I said, girls, you want to go to Europe this summer for vacation? Really? I said, and my wife was like, what's up? I said, well, AC/DC. And she's like, yeah. So they agreed Ireland. But then I started pricing it out. And it's crazy. Like plane tickets are like $6,000. So if there's three of us, that's spending $20,000 on airline tickets to go see AC/DC. So my wife, like a week ago, she says, are you going to go? And I said, well, no, it's too much for all of us. We just, we can't spend that much money to go to Europe right now. She said, well, you just go. I said, no, I'm not, is what I said to her. But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I can. So, I don't know what to, I don't know what to do. This is a real friggin' conundrum for me right now. What would you, if this was you, what would you do?
I personally wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't go. But I'm not in your shoes, so I don't have the full scope of what you're dealing with and what you're wrestling with. Because I think that airline tickets or flights there could be cheaper than $6,000.
Yeah, but I'm not flying a European coach. I can't do that. Look, I'm not a diva or anything, but I'm not cramming into a center seat next to who knows who for 7 hours. That's just not going to.
I think there's some alternatives to that, though. So I think that you might be able to get away with doing it a little bit less cheaper than you're giving yourself credit for.
You roll with some heavy hitters. You got anybody that wants to lend me a plane for a couple of days? That would probably help.
You still have to pay gas money. Everybody has to pay gas money.
Hey, I'll pay the gas money. Probably got to like $7,000, and but
gotta pay the gas money.
Mm-hmm. Have you flown private before?
I have.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool. It's very cool. The first time I did it, it was with a Grammy Award winning rapper, and it's just that experience was fabulous. And it wasn't anything special outside of going to the plane, getting in on that plane, and just being able to sit, no waiting in line, door to door, that sort of thing. But that flight was just a great flight. It was comfortable, very comfortable. I could do that on a regular.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
I could do that on a regular.
I did it twice, and both times with dogs. We got a dog.
Imagine that.
We had a dog here, this old pit bull, and finally I ripped him out of the shelter. And I didn't tell my wife or anything. I'm like, I just showed up. I'm like, I got Blackie. She's like, what the hell's Blackie doing here? I'm like, we're gonna try it out. But I had cats and dogs, and Blackie just did not loved one of my dogs, hated the other one, and Blackie was mean. It just became too much. So it was my mission in life to find Blackie a home. We finally found him a home in Vegas, but I would never put a dog commercial. He was too old to drive across the country. So I set up a GoFundMe sort of thing, get Blackie to Vegas. We picked up a couple $100, and I was like, all right, screw it, I'll pay the rest. And it was me and Blackie. And oh man, it was awesome. It was just so cool flying private. And then the second time was when we had the situation with my wife and we were gone. My dogs were here with my father-in-law. Hurricane was coming through. Every hurricane is the end of the world. Irma, no one's ever seen a hurricane like this. So I got to get the dogs out of there. And it was real quick. I called and I'm like, how much for a plane? So I flew the home commercial, got the dogs and flew them up to Philadelphia. So my wife's never been on a private plane. My kid never has, but I've been.
The dog has.
Yeah, my father-in-law was with me. He had a good time. But yeah,
I think you're going to Ireland by yourself. By the sound of it, you're going to Ireland by yourself.
I don't know. If I had to choose, I would pick Germany over Ireland. But I don't know. We'll see. It's not going to happen. There are more responsible things for me to spend that money on right now.
So food. What are you eating? Like, what's your favorite go-to food?
Oh, pizza. Pizza. Yeah. If I'm gonna binge when I'm dieting or working out and I can't eat it, the cheat day that I work in, it's pizza. It is
Italian overall, or just
no? I can't
just pizza.
I can't do Italian because it gives me heartburn for the most part. But pizza, I'll suck it up. But when I and I learned this a long time ago too. When I do a cheat day. Because again, all in or not in it. Also, all in. It happened with Krispy Kreme donuts. I was out in Los Angeles, was working out like a beast, And they opened up a Krispy Kreme, and it was the biggest thing in the world. And Shaq was showing up there when he played for the Lakers, and lines down the street like a Taylor Swift concert. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get a Krispy Kreme. I got a dozen and just killed them in the car on the way home. And it sped my metabolism up. And I'm like, whoa, if you have a cheat day and just eat whatever you want, it will act, for me personally, it would speed up my metabolism. So now on a cheat day, it's always pizza, and it's a whole pizza and a calzone and, you know, whatever else I'm in the mood for. But pizza.
I can smash a whole pizza. It's crazy.
Standing on your head, right? I mean, it's the easiest, like, yeah.
A whole apple pie. Just go to town on it.
You know how many times I've gone to Dunkin' Donuts and got a whole dozen for myself? People, I mean, it's just, you know, it's no problem.
Dig it. So my actual favorite is there's two: Shipley Donuts and Groovy Donuts. Groovy Donuts is in Michigan.
Okay.
Shipley's is based out of Texas, but they're also here in Florida, the Central Florida area. But those are my go-to donuts.
Do you have Jupiter Donuts up there where you are?
No, we don't.
It's a thing down here. They're really good, and they're huge. You can't do a dozen of these. Even I can't.
You can't do a dozen.
No. I probably could, but I'll be vomiting. But it's worth it. Sometimes you have to. You got to endure the pain. No pain, no gain.
So I, as a kid, I can dial it back to about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. The things that I loved: food, enjoyed, play, art, you know, all that kind of stuff, are the same things that I enjoy now. Do you find that the case with you? The things that made you happy, that you were enjoy doing or happy doing, you still enjoy those things now?
To a degree, I do. But you know, now with a daughter, she makes me happy. So it kind of trumps everything else. Yeah. To a degree, yes. But you know, a little bit have changed, and some things that I used to enjoy, not so much anymore.
Dig it.
This is so much easier as the guest than it is as the host, by the way.
You think so, huh?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to come on today. Really appreciate your time, AJ. I'm glad to be a part of your team and a part of the network. So thank you for bringing me on and having the faith in me to be able to do this for you. So really appreciate you.
No, we appreciate you, and we're glad you're a part of it.
We'll dig that. So we're going to wrap it up, and we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, here on 102.9 The Game. This is White Noise, and I'm your host, Gerald White. You got to love it.